Man, this story right here, said, man, we got to start with this one because once again, the plot thickens in the Tekashi 6ix9ine case. Now, it's this individual named Matthew Russell Lee who works for the Inner City Press. He's pretty much been at the trial of Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's been feeding information, from that trial, through Twitter and everything. And what he put out, today, is pretty much revealing that Tekashi 6ix9ine's driver was pretty much working with the feds the whole time. Now, this guy, his name is Rivera. We seen him on a video with Takashi got kidnapped. He pretty much, they asked him, were you detained? He said yes. He said he did speak to law enforcement about cooperating. And once ICE picked him up, he cooperated with them. And he's pretty much been working with them as an informant the whole time while driving Tekashi around. They asked him, do you think Tekashi started to realize that you were an informant? He said yes towards the end. So that fucking blew my mind when I heard that today, Sam, man, because I'm like, yo, this thing is just turning all different types of ways. And it's even, confirming more and more of my suspicions about this thing the whole time. But when you heard this about Tekashi 6ix9ine's driver being an informant, what do you think, Sam, man?
I didn't really listen or read the backstory until you just read it aloud. But when I first saw it and heard it, I was at a loss for words. I'm just like, God damn, just when you think this plot couldn't thicken anymore, just when you think it couldn't take any more turns, this is literally a crazy ass TV series or one hell of a movie right here that we watching out here in real life. And there's a lot of developments going on with Tekashi. And I don't know if we're getting any questions answered as far as what he's about to do as far as music or witness protection, but there's things going around. When you read it, it was like, oh, wait a minute, a little bit of a twist. Now, you said he was about to get picked up by ICE.
He got picked up by him.
So he's an illegal immigrant.
And then he said at that point he would cooperate. I don't know the correlation of why they would want him. Maybe because he was a driver. But when he got picked up by ICE, according to the story, he said he would cooperate, and they began to use him as an informant at that time. So I don't know if he was the driver when he got picked up,
right.
Or I don't know. It's not really clear.
The ICE motherfuckers don't play.
Yeah.
At all. And we were talking off air on just what kind of machine they got over there at the FBI. God damn.
Man.
You never know anything, right?
Right.
So they probably put all kind of pressure. And who knows? I mean, who watched Orange and the New Black out there the last season of that and saw all that ICE shit that was going on with them women? That shit, that was a great fictional depiction of what's really going on out here. So
yeah,
when you throw them in the mix with man, it just kind of, they play hardball.
Yeah, and I think it's not really, it's surprising because we're hearing it, but it's really not, because this is the type of things they do. If you study like how they used to move back in the day, like when they used to infiltrate, like the Panthers and different groups like that, it would be somebody who's standing next to the leader, somebody like that could put a stick of pen in them, you know what I mean, and just kill them like that. So make sure they get real close and try to get as much intel as possible. Who better than the damn driver that's driving Tekashi around to be an informant? He's testifying that he heard gunshots go off. He's seen different things like this. So he's a confidential informant now. Tekashi's a confidential informant. You know what I mean? Man, but it goes to show you, though, at some point, and this is just my belief, that the feds came to Tekashi probably, I don't know, I can't say, maybe last year at some time, and they wanted to gain entry inside the non-trade organization. And what better way to do it through him, the driver, and people like that. And I think that at some point, whether it was a couple months before they got taken down or a week or two, he started cooperating and said, all right, look, let's go get these motherfuckers and take them down. And this is what happened eventually. And I think a lot of people didn't know. And I was listening to Lisa Evers, and he's already kind of been sentenced already, Tekashi 6ix9ine, to 47 years. But with him cooperating, they can lessen that sentence to at least the time served. So there's articles coming out now about him getting tattoos removed and wanting to move into witness protection. So it's kind of looking like the picture and the frame is being set now for him to get off with time served, in my opinion. That's just what I believe at this point.
Oh, God, we asked ourselves this. I asked you this. You asked me this a lot during this last year, right? Whether or not or how long he's been an informant. How long, not an informant, but how long he's been cooperating with the feds. After looking at filling out all this, now he said as soon as he got picked up, that's the day he started cooperating. Now, I'm kind of under the suspicion or imagination that he started right after he got that whole kidnapping thing. Right after the kidnapping thing, they brought him in, said that we watching something. Remember when that whole thing where they were saying we worried about you and something like that? Their initial conversation, I think, is when he initially started cooperating. He's scared. We see how he's singing now. So what makes us think that when they applied the pressure on his ass the first time, that wasn't the time he started rocking and rolling, and then people started kind of getting suspicion after that. And what did he testify on the stand saying it was right after that?
Tekashi?
Yeah. I don't know if he testified. I know that's what he said, but I don't know if it was under oath.
No, I think he said pretty much he did it when he got caught. But that's a good point. But we do know that that the feds were investigating this organization, the Non-Trade Blood, since like 2013, 2014. So they've been gathering intelligence. I guess when Takashi came in, it was like perfect, you know what I mean, for them. But yeah, that's a real good point. I think when he started to realize, I guess, that his life was in danger, and that people in the circle really didn't have the best, outcome for a situation. He was so-called being extorted. I think he said, you know what? I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm vulnerable. I'm not really a street dude like that. I don't have nobody but these guys, but these motherfuckers is coming at me. I better run to the police for help. I think it could have been something, something like that. Or they came to him and said, look, we've been watching what y'all been doing. Here go the evidence. Either you're going to help us now or y'all all going down together. He said, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna help you, I'll help you, now. I mean, it's pretty evident of that interview on the Breakfast Club when he, started to disassociate himself, that he spoke to someone. We just don't know exactly when. Right.
Oh God, we debated on this podcast on whether or not Tekashi 6ix9ine, once everything is done, the dust is settled, and his sentence is dropped down on him, if he got out of jail, whether or not he could do music. We debated it a lot. I think the general consensus was, sickly as it sounds, he could still do music. Now I'm gonna ask you, will he do music? Because now we're hearing rumors that he's trying to get tattoos removed. He might be just scared to the point where he wants to get the fuck out of Dodge all the way. What's your suspicion, or what's your feeling on that? You think he's about to be just getting out of Dodge based off of your
I think he'll do music. I really do. Maybe he might change it up to a certain extent. But you gotta remember, people don't remember this, man. I know you do, and the people that have been following him, he had hit after hit after. He was like on a fucking like a 10 hit, you know what I mean? Something like that. He was killing it. So why not go back to that? Because you already got other rats out there that's living.
I think that and this is the reason why I disagree. Maybe one of the only reasons why I disagree with you is because he would have to bring back on a persona that he knows damn near killed him, is on his way to killing him now. And does he have the balls to pick that persona back up when we know it's fake? And it would be fake, but is he going to get started with the beefs again? He would have to really make this shit believable again for people to start paying attention. One hit, yeah, but he's not going to go on and run the 10 straight without the bullshit in the middle.
I think he would.
I don't know if he has the balls to do it. I'm not sure.
I think he would, because what you see now in court, he's not, none of the, the lingo and nothing like that. It's like a church kid in there. Yes, sir. No, sir. And that's because he's being, coached into being like that for being, the Fed's witness and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that once the smoke settles, once, they say time served and he's able to go home with his family and then live a little bit and see, it's not really that bad. Maybe he moves somewhere where he ain't got to worry about the blood running him down or some shit like that. He still got the feds around the clock protecting him for, ever so long. I think so. I think he'll be advised against it, from the feds and informants that he's working with, the marshals and whatnot. They're going to be like, no. But again, you just never know, man. But yeah, I would bet that he would, man. That's his cash cow. Why would he stop? You think he's that scared where he wouldn't want to make no music no more and take on that persona?
I wouldn't be surprised. When you hear about all the bloods that were in the courtroom, when you can just imagine the kind of threats or kind of messages his family's receiving, like it's probably turned up 10 billion.
Right.
And I don't know if this pressure's going to make a diamond or fucking coal. And I see coal, I see this dust.
Right.
On the pressure. So my assumption is he will no longer do music. And then it's like, all right, we'll never hear from him again. That'll be interesting.
Right.
We'll see, man. When will we find out? When are we gonna know?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess once the testimony, everybody gets through, and then they will decide from there, like defense. Now this guy was on the stand, I guess today, Jorge Rivera, which was Tekashi's driver.
Yes.
So the more and more people that they go through, and I guess that once it culminates, we'll definitely know, and we'll see, what they'll reduce his sentence to, because he already got a 47-year sentence. So again, he could be, reduced all the way down to time served. I don't know. It may be, but I don't see him doing anything over 10 years. Anything over 10.
Nah, me neither.
Right.
I said 10 initially. Then we said 5. And then we said, shit, he might do time served to get the fuck out of there. I think under 5, I think he'll get. And then it'll be just enough time to forget about him and shit. He might not even do 5. They might say 5 and he slide his ass out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
We may never hear from him again.
Yeah.
Who knows? But to kind of transition a little bit, because it's a snitch kind of conversation. Goddamn. 50 Cent made some crazy allegations about our man Jim Jones. Now, earlier last week, Tekashi 6ix9ine said some shit about Jim Jones in court on the stand, which was wild, among other names, Cardi B, Casanova, Trippie Redd. And then it comes out, or 50 Cent puts out that Jim Jones was a part of that paperwork with 6ix9ine now. Go ahead. You go ahead and elaborate on that, man.
No. I mean, well, pretty much 50 Cent, he put up an article, you know, from doing my research. I don't think the article is real. That's why 50 Cent later removed this from his Instagram. But it read this. It said, rapper Jim Jones is listed as a federal informant in court documents in the case against Takashi. He says in the original court documents, they were previously released online. The conversation between individual Jim Jones is listed as cooperating with the federal agents in a conversation with Jamil Mel Murder Jones, which would explain why Jim has been able to have such a lengthy criminal record and avoid prison time. He says, if you recall earlier this year, Jim Jones dodged jail time in the drug and gun case. Now, 50 Cent put under this particular article, which we found out wasn't real. He put, oh shit. So that's why they ain't pulling him in, Say it ain't so, Jimmy. And again, once again, this was posted and it's still up on the Shade Room, which they were just reposting what 50 Cent reposted on their site. But again, once 50 Cent removed this, we did our research to see if we can find, you know, Jim Jones listed as an informant on the paperwork, and we couldn't find it. So 50 Cent was just trolling again, it looks like, or he found out that it was wrong and pulled it down, because this article was circulating throughout the internet. A few people, internet personalities, YouTube guys, did their little 1-2s on it last night and everything. But from our research, it's not real. We don't see Jim Jones listed as a federal informant anywhere on that Tekashi paperwork at all. It's
the dangers of this shit, man. And this is, and 50 obviously knows, but this is the power on it, when you drop something like this, whether it's real or not, or even whether like, and this is where I disagree with a lot of the social media shit that goes on, whether you thought it was real or not. If you are cool with him in any way, whether you're playing fake or whatever,
right,
hit him up. Why put that shit out there for millions to see, to speculate on, if even you just guessing? That's a real dangerous thing. And we know he don't play that shit. Ain't nobody doing that to him.
Yeah, he gonna sue you.
You know what I'm saying? Right. S word. Don't say that around. He don't play that game. You know what I mean? So I think that he kind of, his better judgment took over. We haven't seen anything. You just did some real extensive research. We've done extensive research over the weekend because we've seen this over the weekend, but it was a reason why we didn't post it, because we had to make sure it was real.
Right.
And I think Jim Jones is dealing with enough just having his name out here with this wild shit. He was not the only one not brought in. None of them were brought in. So slow and accurate.
Right. And it's, you know, it could be whatever reason why people are not brought in. We're not the feds. I don't know.
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, you know, I'm
nor
not
do I want to.
No, nor do I want to. I don't wish it.
None of my business.
You don't want nobody, but we understand, you know, that these guys live a particular lifestyle and that's what they do. And I'm just not involved in it, so I don't understand it that way. So
do you think it'll be damaging? Because we heard the audio. We didn't post the audio, but we heard it.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll damage Jim Jones in any way?
No, I think it could if they wanted to. They could obviously, you know, pursue what they want to pursue. But I think that is one of those things where they caught their big fish. Unless he done some other things we don't know about. Maybe they found out he was involved more than we thought, maybe. But the fact that they didn't bring him in now, I don't think that he'll be facing any kind of, you know, criminal charges or anything, you know, for this thing. I think they got the fish that they want.
Yeah, just unnecessary and unwanted fucking attention, I think, is what this is bringing to the entertainment, the rappers that were brought up on the stand by Tekashi, Daniel Hernandez, 6ix9ine, man.
What do you take of that, though? Him just, you know, calling everybody's name out. People don't even have to, you know, anything really to do with it, but he's making sure that he's putting people's name, Cardi B, Trippie, all these people. He's making sure that he's letting people know, like, all right, this person's affiliated with this, that, and the third. Well, how do you feel about that?
It kind of just shows me how wet behind the ears he really was, and how much of a persona they had to put on for him to be successful. The tattoos, the trolling to everybody. And he had a slick talking mouth. He was one of them kind of kids that, you know, you could beat his fucking ass, but he may be able to out-talk you.
Right.
He's going to piss you off before you piss him off. We've known those kind of kids forever. So they seen something. And when the things got hot, he went right back to that kid in the store bagging groceries who really didn't want no smoke. He went right back to it. And you can't blame him for it, but you can blame him for it because he put hits out on people. He lived this shit for real. He didn't just play Wild Wild West for Instagram. He did this for real.
And that's the part where these bitch ass motherfuckers that want to come on, Instagram and defend this guy, it gets on my nerves because this dude, fuck what they did. He was in that element. I don't care if they fucked his baby mom. I don't care if they fucking kidnapped. I don't give a fuck what they did, nigga. You called hit out on people in broad daylight. You called a hit out on Trippie Redd in broad daylight. You put the head out on Chief Keef. You was in this shit 100%. When you got cracked, you squealed like a fucking pig. Period, man.
Period.
So don't try to make, this little kid, they did all this and that. What about those other people's life that motherfucker put in danger?
Man, look.
Nobody want to say nothing about that.
Go ahead and dye your hair and listen to his 10 hits and reminisce on the good old days. The fact is, this young boy played some real men games that 90% of motherfuckers ain't built for, ain't ready for. And the motherfucking 10% that are out here in this country and in this world rather not be in this shit. So there's nothing to glorify about this situation. The fact of the matter is he did some grown man shit. He deserves grown man consequences. He's out here squealing, which is completely